We're back.
I thought you were going to give me that.
We're back.
All right, now it's time for a little bit more fun and one of my most anticipated sessions for the day, our internal newsletter roast.
This is where we get real about what works and what doesn't when it comes to employee newsletters, and we couldn't ask for a better pair to guide us through it, Jay and Dave.
All right, Jay and Dave, stage is yours.
Uh-oh. Dave, you ready for this? We're about to do it.
We are. I think I'm ready.
It's going to be a hot mess, but I love it.
Let me share some emails, Jay.
All right, let's do this. Do we have to say who we are? Who cares who we are? I don't care who I am. Do you care who you are?
You introduce yourself. I'll introduce myself, and we'll go from there.
All right. I'm Jay. I talk really fast, which causes anxiety. I've had an agency forever, about 100% agency. We do a lot of stuff in email, not just email, but we send out about 6 billion emails, 40,000 campaigns a year. My company puts on the world's largest email marketing event called Guru Conference. It's free. It's virtual. It's coming up. And we also have subjectline.com, which is a free resource for marketers. So email is my jam. I love making fun of emails, especially if they're mine. And I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. I'm Dave. I talk slightly slower than Jay. I have worked in the internal comm space for about 10 years. I am now a part of the ContactMonkey team, supporting some fantastic communicators in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, getting the most out of the ContactMonkey platform. I have seen my fair share of terrible newsletters. I've created my fair share of terrible newsletters. So I think between Jay and I, we are very, very well versed in newsletters and well positioned to be talking about them today.
Yes. Perfect.
Let's share a screen.
It's always the biggest accomplishment, actually, if you could actually share the screen. Like by the time, especially because we use Microsoft Teams, and that's the worst. Anyway.
we should be good. We should be good.
Yes.
Hopefully
Yes.
people can see that. And we've got a couple of newsletters to go through. I've started with Jay with what I think is fairly okay. So it'd be interesting to get your take as we go through. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, actually, so we can see more of it. What's your initial thoughts, Jay?
I think this newsletter is absolutely horrible. I'll tell you why in general, why I think it's horrible. And when you think about email, so we talk about, okay, it's internal comms, it's supposed to be this way. You're marketing to a human being at the end of the day. And in email, everything's a link, right? Everything's like a chain. And if any part of it is bad and you break the chain, you're boring, then the person's going to stop reading. And so you got your subject line, your preheader, and then the first thing you see is this giant banner that says October newsletter. It should might as well just say, this is epically boring. Stop reading here, because who cares? I mean, do you think this thing is starting out well?
I liked the intro. I won't lie. I thought it could have been better, but I didn't think it was the worst. What really got me was when we scroll down slightly and every image is a different size.
Oh, you're much nicer than I am. I think everything about this is so incredibly bad. When you are starting out, you have to think about it. What's in it for the person? Yes, they want to get the update on what's going on in the company. They want to get really inspired by the CEO's boring message that nobody cares about. But really, you want to come out with a hook right at the start that says, did you know in the last quarter we did blah, blah, blah? Or did you know that you now have access to this blah, blah, blah? It's not the CEO's message that says, we're doing great, team, way to go. Who cares? Put that lower down. Nobody cares. Get real fast.
What stood out for me, other than the fact that we're clearly playing good cop, bad cop, is these don't care about their employees either. That is the dullest employee spotlight I've ever seen. Maria did a great job. She was recognized, and she's got a tiny little section just above the very bright orange safety training refresh.
Yeah, and I would throw in there, I love when there's an employee spotlight. I think that's amazing. But you need to always be thinking now, especially in this age of AI, slop, garbage, genericness, you want to add humanity to everything that you're doing. That is how you get people a little bit excited. So yeah, great. This employee did something really cool. And then you do, and by the way, she's a 3-time pickleball champion. Did you know that? Blah, blah, blah. And why are we hiding her last name? Maybe she wants her last name hired or whatever. Or here's how you give her a shout out. She loves to be recognized on LinkedIn or something. It's just, this is like horrendous.
Yeah, we clearly don't care about Maria's achievements.
No.
But it stops there. I personally think the next one's worse, but we'll jump onto it. We can leave Maria alone for a second.
Okay.
There you go. It's quite clear what's wrong with this one. I think straight away.
Listen, everybody here, if this was your newsletter and you press send on it, you should probably quit. You're in the wrong career. You're in the wrong profession. You're not good at your job. There's nothing about this newsletter that I would say, oh, yeah, I want to copy that. It's horrendous. And, in general, what I would think about is so often we send out these things, we're looking at metrics. Oh, we got how many people opened it. They clicked this thing. They read this portion for that long. But think about the opposite. A lot of times when you hit send on internal communications, there's something called negative signal. Right? It's all the people who didn't click, didn't open, well, especially if they opened and they didn't click all that, they're looking at this. They said, my company is trash. They don't care about really looking a certain way. They don't care about our branding. They don't care about our people. They don't care about anything. This negative signal that you're creating when your internal communications are boring, useless, nothing in it for them, that should always be front and center.
Definitely. I probably would have opened this to delete it very quickly. My biggest complaint, aside from the color, is that font is second in the hell of fonts, only to Comic Sans, which we all know is garbage. But a random bullet point, a rogue bullet point here and there. This white is terrible. But yeah, it gets a little bit worse as we go further down as well.
It gets worse by the second. Put out some hero stats, put out some images that are inspiring, put out a did you know, put out something that doesn't make it look like it was made in 1987. I mean, this looks like it was made on Lyris by somebody who just woke up. I mean, it's unbelievably useless garbage. Sorry if you made it.
You're not inspired by the random image from Google of two people doing yoga.
I mean, and can you imagine like the rating thing at the bottom here? Like, I wouldn't even read what the question was. I would just say it's horrible. Whatever the rating's asking me, it's horrible because the newsletter is horrible. It's like, what are we doing, people? What are we trying to accomplish?
We're not even asking Jay about what they think of the newsletter.
Right.
We want to know what they think of the current health and safety measures in smiley faces.
It's just unacceptable to like press send on some of this. And in general, think about, different modules that people can get excited about looking forward to. So often we're like, okay, we have to highlight this thing going on in the company or that thing going on in the company, but have modules in your internal comms that people look forward to, and you want to put them at the bottom. What I mean by that is put out, okay, believe it or not, these are new TV shows coming out this week. Okay. Love is Blind actually starts tonight. Put that in there. Add a level of humanity to your internal comms, and you put the humanity at the bottom, or accomplishments that people have outside of work at the bottom. You want to give people a reason to scroll to the bottom of your stuff, and that's where you insert that in humanity, and that's how you actually can win with your internal comms.
Absolutely. I used to bang on in a previous life about the milk in a store effect. Yeah. Milk's always at the back to make you walk through the store. Comms should be the same. Every newsletter should have your key content at the bottom. Let's not do staff recognition right at the very top, even though it's just as bad as Maria's.
Yes.
But all these people seem to be offended by columns. Everything's in one single column. Use some space.
Oh, it's as if whoever made this newsletter doesn't even think that people have mobile phones. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
I mean, if your things are not mobile friendly at this point, that's epically weird. Like, I have no idea what planet you're on, but you should be mobile first. Over 70% of all primary opens, the first time somebody opens up an email is on their phone on email. Yeah. So you need to be, so often when people are sending test messages to themselves, they're looking at it on their desktop. It makes no sense. You need to look at things mobile first, or else what are you doing? What are we actually doing?
Well, there's no point, is there? There's no point. We've got one more, Jay. We've got one more. We'll jump to it.
I'm sure oh God.
I was hoping we might have had a bit more.
Do you like this one?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I love white and black as my outfit for the day.
Right.
But not quite this. Who's opening with the from the CTO with a nice image there? It gives. I can't even think of the word. It just gives a bit of a superiority complex to me.
Agree.
Yeah.
It would always be what's in it for the person you're sending it to. And it's certainly not a
Yeah.
picture of the CTO. I mean, what do you print this out and put it on your wall? Like, that's my CTO. Isn't this guy awesome? Said nobody ever. Okay. You want to put that big hero stat about what we accomplished or new thing going on or something awesome. Okay. Put the CTO at the bottom. Who cares what he has to say? Nobody cares. Okay. And to your point earlier, look at this. We have multiple different fonts. Have some thought about the design, what's going on here. Put aside, this looks like it was designed on toilet paper. This is ridiculous. This is embarrassing.
Toilet paper was one up from Microsoft Publisher 2005 that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, no columns, no fort. I'm getting a bit of a headache. Another employee spotlight to just
they can't spell. I mean, spotlight spelled wrong. I mean, like, what were they hammered? Were they actually like, let's have 4 cocktails and make our internal newsletter go out? Like, what are they doing?
Maybe Sophie provided the drinks. Data scientists like a drink.
They should say this employee was hammered, and that's why we spelled spotlight wrong, or something.
Gets a bit worse again. We're adding some extra colors, but a random blue, which is just painful.
Can I just throw out something else about these stock photos? All right. In internal comms, we were not put on this planet to share Shutterstock photos with each other, okay? That's not why we were put here. And we all know that user-generated content, UGC, is the thing, right? That's what we all like to consume, and that's what we care about. In your internal comms, you need to have real pictures. If you are using any form of a Shutterstock or whatever, and that's the images that you're using in your internal comms, you are failing, because this is where you're supposed to show the actual humanity of your organization, and nothing says less human than you going out and buying stock photos. That is a recipe to failure land.
100%. I take back what I said about a monochrome email. I don't mind a monochrome email if it's all monochrome. We've got random blues. We've got social icons with random colors in them for logos. Stick to a consistent pace. I don't get why they've I mean, they were drunk, clearly, as you said earlier on. They've just thrown everything at this email.
And I also think accessibility in your internal comms is even more important than accessibility in regular emails that go out, because you need to make sure everyone feels comfortable. And when there's so much in here that's screwing with accessibility, right? Even if you look at emojis, I'm a big fan of emojis, okay? But when you are thinking about readers, right, you never want to have an emoji as the first character in any sentence, the first character in your subject line, the first character of anything, because readers, they have to actually read out that emoji, and it's a very hard thing when people are using readers like that. So you have to think about accessibility in every component of what you're doing, especially when you're talking about your internal comms thing. And I think at the bottom, where it's 0 to 10, I mean, what the hell is the difference between a 4 and a 5? Like, what are we doing here? You should just say, does this suck or does it not suck? And by the way, it does. It sucks.
Smiley faces work so much better than 0 to 10. I learned that very early on, but I totally agree with the emoji piece, because a screen reader's reading that as coffee cup, coffee chat, sign up to be prepared.
Right.
And that's making no sense. And the one we had earlier on as well, someone that may be dyslexic or something like that, you're never understanding any of this content, because none of 100%. That is making any sense.
100%. And I know we don't have the subject lines here, but and I know I'm partial because I have a site, subjectline.com. But the subject line that you're sending out, I think, a lot of internal comms is always like October Tech Pulse newsletter, whatever. And it's a little bit wallpapery. I really think it's important that, you want to put that to the October edition. You put that at the end. You have to put the hero thing and at least A/B test it. You want to put the hero thing as the start of that subject line. Have your subject line, be a question. Have your subject line be something that's a hero stat. Get them a little bit excited. And then I'll tell you the other one that I'll win no friends over, but I don't really care because I will die on this hill. I'm a huge believer in internal comms about sending out to non-openers. You send it out, on Thursday, 48 hours later, you send it out to non-openers, whoever didn't open. And when you do, that subject line says something to address the fact that they didn't open, where it will say, hey, I think you missed this one, or you scrolled past this one, because you're going to get additional 20 or 30% opens, and they need to see it. And sometimes they miss it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I'm a big fan of retargeting, and change that subject line. Don't just resend the same email. In case you missed it, I see why am I it. Or be a bit more forceful. Perhaps you missed this. Perhaps you scrolled past it. We're going to mix it up, Jay. I feel like our eyes have been fairly offended So we'll go for some text only.
Oh,
You're going to
no.
love this first one that I've got.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. Have a look.
Yeah, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
So this email was sent in with all caps throughout it, typo special. And my favorite part is the ending, sent from my phone while driving. Sent by Todd to all staff.
Listen, if you're going to have a subject line like that, then nuclear war needs to have broken out. Okay, because there is no scenario where the level of urgency they put in this thing is that important. I mean, literally could say, unless you're like announcing your toenails are on fire, what is going on here? Right? It's just, they go urgent. And then they start out with just circling back. What is urgent? Then you're just circling back. It's like, this thing is a disaster.
The whole thing, the typos, the caps,
yeah, right.
the sign off is wild. It's given it's given Todd probably is looking for another job by this point.
Oh, I hope he is. He should be. He should be on Indeed immediately following this.
Hopefully urgently. I've got another one.
No.
A nice little CC error that happened from Jess in HR.
Yeah.
Who is also a fan of Comic Sans, so she's straight on my red flag list. Oh no, she doesn't like Comic Sans. Sorry, I misread that bit.
I love the do not share. Like, honestly, it's like if somebody says to me, like a friend says to me, by the way, I'm going to tell you something, but you can't tell anybody. As soon as I hang up, I'm telling everybody that would find that important. Okay. If it says do not share, I'm forwarding this email to everybody I know. Don't send something out that you don't want people to share. I mean, who are we kidding? What do they think is going on here? It's an embarrassment.
Do not share is one thing, but I don't know if you spotted it, Jay. They actually sent it to the candidate.
Yeah.
So the candidate's feedback was sent to the candidate.
Right.
But I take back my bad words about Jessica because she also hates Comic Sans, so we can we can bond over that.
Yes.
But we've all been there. CCing's terrible, but I mean, you do it once, you never do it again. But you definitely don't do it on that level.
No, this gives me like anxiety. Just this whole thing gives me anxiety.
We've got one more.
Okay, we're ready.
One more. Buzzword bingo.
Yes.
Out of oversharing out of office. I personally like to add a bit of spice to my out of office. I won't lie.
I agree.
I want people to know what I'm doing, just so we can jump into a conversation about what I did at the weekend or while I was off, doing my Christmas shopping and stuff when we get to that point. But yeah, this one's quite a lot.
I'll tell you a secret about out of office stuff right now that a lot of and I'm not a fan of this, a lot of the cold email marketers are doing. When everyone sets their out of office, what do? They say, I'm going to be out of office, but contact Rebecca Smith over here. Here's her email address, whatever, while I'm out. And because so many people do that now, right leading into holidays, a lot of people will just send to their entire database and they'll use different type of like Zapier stuff, whatever, and they'll go through and rip through every person that was said, contact this person, and then they shove them into their CRM. It's just something to be aware of. That's a tactic that more and more people are doing now. So that way you don't just automatically put in all these random people's information because all of a sudden they're going to get slammed with stuff. So this move is kind of trash.
Yeah, and from an internal point of view, I'm a people person. I want to have that conversation when I get back. I don't want the mundane. Oh, what did you do while you're off for a week and this, that, and the other? Let's just straight in and ask how many drinks I had for my birthday. We can do that. We can do that through my out of office. But we're not harvesting data from it. But the chief visionary officer, Brad, probably needs to lay off the juice cleansers, if you ask me.
I need a juice cleanse.
I mean, we probably all do. I mean, I've just had not juice, but some before this, a burger. But yeah, that's them all, Jay. Anyone you want to revisit?
I'm just curious in the chat, what is everybody's thought here? Does everybody think that those were great newsletters, or you think that you want to copy any of those tactics? I'm trying to think if there's any tactic that anybody used that I would actually say, yeah, I want to do that. I'm actually going to go with a hard no. I don't think there was anything anybody did in there that was useful on any level. Good point. Are they hiring? By the way, that is where you should apply because you will get a job because those people are terrible at their jobs.
It would be really good. Tina, I'm going to go for sarcasm. Hopefully, if not, let's have a chat and I can give you some top tips.
Yeah.
Around better newsletters.
Yeah.
We've got a hard no from Jess. Jess,
Yeah.
we're a big fan. I hope you hate Comic Sans as well.
Yeah.
Malia having a hard time believing most of that was real. They were real. They were recreated. They were real. They definitely happened. None of them were mine from when I was an internal communicator, I'm proud to say. But yes. Anything else?
No, I think in general, my biggest thing is don't just get it out to get it out. Because I think that's where a lot of mistakes happen. You're like, okay, we got to get this thing out. So let's just get it out and we got it done. You're creating a negative signal. You're creating a negative impression within your own company. And so believe it or not, you're better off skipping a week or however your cadence is, than getting out something that is horrendous, because it does more damage than good.
Exactly, and Alma there. Good thing they use left align mostly. Big fan of left align. We can't be center aligning things anymore.
Yes.
Elucidia handwriting fan. Oh,
I'll give you one other, one other thing to really think about also. I don't think enough of us are testing what we're putting in the pre-header, the second subject line, if you will. It's super valuable real estate to try to generate those opens. And I think that, we sleep on that. And if you're not thinking about what you're putting in that spot, it's really valuable.
Absolutely. We all hate clickbait, but it does serve a bit of a point if you do it nicely, do it gently. No one wants to click here and open this email because we'll give you 50 quid. We're never going to do it, but that subtle pull, your subject line is where you're going to get that in.
Yeah, I think clickbait gets a bad rap. I know that's a bad thing to say, and I'll tell you why. I think a great hook gets it opened. Clickbait is only when it's fake, where you say something you don't deliver on the promise. And I think that, you need to have a great hook. You need to treat people like they're people, and you can't treat this like, okay, this is corporate wallpaper. Let's just press send. That's how you lose.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tina puts her best language in a pre-header. We love a pre-header. Absolutely love a pre-header.
By the way, you want a secret hack? You should test no pre-header at all. What I mean by, think about sometimes white space in the inbox. When you could have a subject line that actually is 3 words or less and then no pre-header, it stands out so well, and you'll get so much of a higher open rate. A lot of systems will have a hard time with no pre-header. You could actually just go to ChatGPT or whatever and say, how I use this system to send out my internal comms. How do I do no pre-header? And it'll give you the simple code to do that. But if you've never tested super short subject line and no pre-header at all, it is a tactic that crushes it.
I'll be trying it. Tomorrow I've got a few things to go out. I'm going to give it a go. Any final questions? Any final hatred for our examples?
Well, I know everybody here would never press on any of those. So I do have extreme hate for all of them. And listen, this has been fun. This has been a blast. I'm going to put in my chat here. I'm going to plug my big event coming up. It's free and it's virtual, the world's largest email event. So I hope you all be there. And yeah, I'm glad you didn't did you make any of these newsletters?
No, I vetted them before we put them out. I had a quick look last week and made sure that none of them were mine from when I was a communicator. There's one there that I really like as well, where someone, Malia hides stuff in their newsletters for 2 hours off. I've done that. I used to hide an extra day's annual leave in some of mine at Christmas, and it worked a treat.
And, the other thing I'll throw out there is, we think about AI and using ChatGPT or Claude or whatever to help us write this stuff. I'll tell you some interesting data that we're now seeing. The pendulum has swung so far with AI that, for example, if you have an M dash, the long dash, if you have an M dash, all right, in the first sentence of your body copy of your email, the click-through rates overall in that email drop by almost 15%, because we have become so attuned now that if we see an M dash, we know it probably wasn't written by a human being.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with certain emojis. So if like a green check mark emoji, that's also the most given back emoji from any of the large language models. So when somebody sees it, they automatically don't open stuff. So when you're getting content suggestions back from AI, it's really important to not use what the other one is unlock. Unlock has now become the worst word that you could use in your subject lines or in your body copy, because it's the #1 word that LLMs are giving back for content creation. So stuff like that, we just got to think about it.
Yeah, you've restarted a conversation there, Jay, about the M dash, and I know
no,
I know
so
quite a
sorry.
few communicators are quite upset about
Yes.
this newfound hatred for the M dash because of ChatGPT and the other AIs. But
I know.
we do love an M dash. I'll replace it with a comma if it gets me out of being accused as
Well, the stat
of
is this
using AI.
from ChatGPT. If you ask ChatGPT what percentage of subject lines and social media posts do you give back with the M dash, it will say over 60%, and that's the problem. So there you go.
So, Jay and Dave, Christina and I, we want to jump in here because we found this roast pretty interesting and funny as well too. But Christina told Karina. Who is Karina?
Karina.
Right, Karina. Karina's probably in the chat. But Christina has some insights she wants to be able to share as well too.
Not insights, questions, because we just hearing that we're talking about AI. So do you have a recommendation, Jay and Dave? When do you use AI? Let's say you have 20 emails to get out in a week. You're time crunched. How do you make the decision about when and when not to use AI?
Do you want to go first, Jay?
Sure. So I actually think now because everybody's using AI, you have to use AI the opposite direction. Go to AI and say, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to create. I want you to help me create this, but I want you to make it seem as if AI did not help me at all. I want you to use every tactic that is the one that you give back the least. Okay. But I still want to make it great, all the stuff. But you want to give instructions where you're actually telling it not to act like AI, because that's actually what's going to allow you to insert some of that humanity. So that's really important. And then the other thing that I love doing with AI, for example, is you could shrink your inbox really small, take a screenshot of all of your inbox, and then upload it to ChatGPT or whatever, and say, what are the subject lines that are most likely to get open and least likely to get open, and why, and rank them, and it will do it instantly on the free version of ChatGPT. It is a great idea starter for you, and it's an easy trick to try.
There was just a comment in the chat there that you absolutely don't send 20 emails in a week, which absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with using AI as your starting point while you are prioritizing. You can use it to these are my requests I've had in, prioritize it for me. Give me some foundations to work with. I'm never going to be one of those communicators that puts everything through AI and just churns out AI copy. Will I let it give me the foundations to build off? Absolutely, because we're all, as communicators, time poor. So I think AI absolutely serves its place, especially getting those first 20 emails sort of not drafted, but giving me the points I need to work with. Give me some bullet points. I can prioritize from what I can see there, and I will shift at least 15 of those 20 emails into the next 2 weeks instead.
Totally.
Jay, but I got a question for you. What about security? You said you upload your entire inbox to ChatGPT. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So maybe I didn't explain it right. So what I'm talking about is go to your inbox, shrink it, make a picture. Okay, so you're not uploading your inbox. Make a picture of just an image of your screen, which is just all the different emails, blah, 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 blah. And there's nothing in there in the subject lines that is, privacy related or whatever. And then you're uploading just the image of your inbox and all those subject lines. And that's what you're asking of these that you see here, these 50 emails, just the subject lines, which of these are most likely and least likely to get open based on all the data you have, and why. It's not a perfect science, obviously, but it's an idea starter that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to test that. And then you test different things, and that's the game.
Oh, great.
Last question. What advice would you give to internal communicators with a email marketer's lens? Since email marketers actually do produce, a wide range of emails, do you have any best tips to pass?
Dave, you want to go first?
I'll jump in first. Tone it down. Remove any salesy stuff would be my first one. Be a bit more fun with it. Internal launches, you can generally get away with poking fun at a few different pieces. You can be a bit more relaxed. Brand guidelines are absolutely important, but that tone of voice can be tweaked a little bit. The amount of stuff I've rewritten from marketers to be a bit more casual and a bit more fun. The list goes on of how many I've done. But yeah, tone it down a little bit, remove anything that's a salesy point, and just go for a conversation you're almost having, not with a friend at the pub, but someone over a water cooler. And that's what's going to get you a different response as a marketer.
Yeah, I love that. I would also say, test different sending times and days. For example, Sundays are crushing it as a crazy day to send early morning, late at night. Don't just stick with what you've always done. And then a lot of times in internal comms, you're trying to get people to watch certain videos. The easiest thing, the best thing that email marketers do all the time is you take an image of whatever it is, the video that you want people to watch, okay? And you take a big red play button, like a YouTube type play button, and you layer that on top of the image. Okay, then they click on that, they go to the page, and they can then watch the video. You make it stupid proof because when people see that big red play button, the click-through rates go up by over 25% than if it's not there. So it's an easy way to get some of your video consumed if you haven't tested that.
All right.
Love it. Sorry.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you both so much for your time. We do, honestly, I really enjoyed the email roast. The chat seemed to enjoy it as well too. I love all the buzzwords and the buzzkill and the typos and the comment scans. That was amazing. All right, so moving on to the next session, we have a fireside chat. Christina, what do you know what a fireside chat is?
Obviously, this one's all about navigating your inner compass, and we're joined by two leaders who have guided so many of us in the comms world.
Oh, who are they?
Priya Bates and Pinaki Katiari.
Ooh, let's go.